Memphis Morning News with Tim Van Horn and Karen Perrin on 600 WREC and 600WREC.com.
7:45, and we have a temperature of 81 degrees. Heat index today around 105, so keep an eye on the temperatures, although we're only going to get up to around 92-ish. It's going to be hot and muggy, so please be careful when you're out and about.
Baby boomers are starting businesses in record numbers. So we're bringing in a specialist on entrepreneurs, author of Ignite the Secret, Charles Horton. He's joining us today. Good morning, Charles. How are you?
Good morning, Karen.
Well, we are here. Karen and Tim are here with you. And, you know, the older you get, the older age starts to seem. So when you're in your 40s, you still wish you're in your 30s. And as we are in our 40s, we start to think that 60 and 70 look a whole lot younger. But you're telling us that our perception of a quote-unquote senior citizen has changed because nobody's retiring, or not as many people are retiring and doing nothing anymore.
Absolutely. I'm 47, and I don't look to ever retire. I just look to work hard and play hard.
So let's talk about those that I guess a baby boomers, 53, 54, they begin there. And baby boomers, though, that might be in the mode for retirement are not just kicking back in the old rocking chair these days.
That is correct. A lot of people are finding themselves having worked for a company for 30 years or so, and then they're laid off and they're looking for another job. They don't find it, and going out and starting your own business is a good option. Or maybe they've worked all of their lives and saved up money with that dream of starting their own business, and the time is now.
You know, and it's one of those things, you know, the economy, it's been the growth in the economy itself, and there's about 93, 94 million Americans that are out of work sometimes, and I would suspect, maybe you can comment on this just a little bit more, that this boom is maybe out of necessity, because at times, if there's not a job, sometimes you just have to create one.
I have a good friend that had been working in the UK for decades for a telecom business. She's now been looking for a job for 2 to 3 years. She's either overqualified or just not the right age group, and so she's now going out and striking out on her own.
What kind of things are people doing? Because after you work for a corporation or you work for the man your whole life, how do you begin to go out and start to do something on your own?
Well, my suggestion is to stay with what you know. If you've been in a career for 20 or 30 years, take that knowledge that you have and use that to start your own business. Many times that's consulting, or maybe you have a better way to do it.
That's
the old consulting business, you say. Yeah, I think you like consultants better when you become one, maybe.
Maybe.
But that certainly is an option, because that way you can be more working on your own time. You know, the hours are not, 40 hours a week. They're a lot more flexible. And I guess that's a good thing. If you do retire and you do your own business, if you don't set up a brick and mortar store, you can be more flexible on your hours. Say you went into real estate or something like that.
Absolutely. Working your own hours is really good until you have to be on the radio at 6 a.m.
Yeah, those aren't our own hours.
and I guess, knowledge is one thing, but also, I guess, following a passion too. Do you have advice for somebody that wants to start up? I mean, do you just go? What's the typical mindset of somebody that does this? Do they just one day wake up and say, well, I'm going to do this, I'm starting right now?
Well, staying with something you love is really smart. I have a friend of mine that takes CEOs out on trips, and the amount of money that they make just being a tour guide and putting the right people together, in this case CEOs, and taking them around the world, that's their passion, is travel, and they get paid to do it. What a smart way to utilize the contacts they already have. And
I tell you, in this day and age, there's a whole lot of niche things you can do, and a lot of that is helping people do what they want to do, whether it's probably being a personal shopper or being an assistant of some kind. But there's a lot of things you don't know how to do, and you just want a little help to do it. What a great idea for your friend.
Absolutely. I need somebody to shop for me. I get all my clothes at Costco.
Well, that's a great place to shop. Sam's is also pretty good as well.
Hey, never underestimate the quality of Kirkland brands, Charles. Never.
Yeah, so you're, have you always been a guy who watches out for entrepreneurs? You're an author, but were you an author first who had a business sense, or where did you begin?
I'm a serial entrepreneur. I started when I was in high school. I was doing check cashing in flea markets. I started a check verification guarantee company that I sold out right before 2000 when when check writing was at its peak, and I've since formed a loan company. Right now I'm starting an internet business called Secure Vital. I'm that serial entrepreneur that's starting businesses.
Sounds like you have a problem. Serial entrepreneur. I love it. But now you're an author, so that worked to your advantage as well. That's kind of smart, just working it to different areas.
A friend of mine finally pulled out all of this knowledge that I've had in my head from business for 20 years, put it in writing, and now I have a book.
Well, congratulations, and we're glad you got up early with us to share that book. Again, not normal for anybody to get up this early, but we're glad you did. And this is a good thing for people to keep in mind if they are reaching retirement age, or if they're let go, or if their company has a buyout option, which we've heard about, sometimes with companies. You might find yourself sooner than you think looking for something new to do.
Just don't spend that buyout offer on one business in 1 year and then be broke.
That's a good piece of advice as well. Thank you so much. Charles Horton, author of Ignite, The Secret, and serial entrepreneur. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Charles.
Thanks for having me.